Ever pondered why Satan might want you to be happy? It's a question that jostles our traditional understanding of Satan, isn't it? But it's worth considering. Imagine finding yourself not in the light but in the darkness. There's a certain allure to exploring the shadows, to uncovering what they might reveal about us, about our happiness. It's a journey that might appear paradoxical, yet it holds the potential for profound self-discovery. Let's delve deeper into this paradoxical concept. Satan, the infamous antagonist, is often misunderstood. This statement may seem startling, even unsettling to some. After all, we've been conditioned to view Satan as the embodiment of all that's malevolent, haven't we? The villain in every story, the root of all evil, the shadow lurking in the corners of our morality. But what if this narrative has been misinterpreted? Let's consider a different perspective. What if Satan, rather than being the architect of our downfall, is actually a guide encouraging us to find our own happiness and self-fulfillment? This isn't to say that Satan is a benevolent figure. Instead, it's to suggest that maybe, just maybe, we've got it all wrong. Imagine for a moment that Satan isn't a force of evil, but a symbol of our innermost desires and ambitions. The yearning to break away from the herd, to assert our individuality, to challenge the status quo. It's this Satan that encourages us to look beyond the surface, to question, to seek, to discover. This brings us to the concept of darkness. Darkness has been stigmatized as evil, something to be feared. But what if darkness is not evil, but a realm of self-discovery and personal growth? Rather than shying away from it, what if we embraced it, allowed it to envelop us, to guide us, to reveal to us the parts of ourselves we've kept hidden? Darkness, then, becomes a sanctuary, a place of introspection where we can confront our fears, our insecurities, our hopes, our dreams. It challenges us to face ourselves, to strip away the masks we wear, to delve into our own depths. It's in this darkness that we find our true selves, our authentic selves, our powerful selves. So, let's reconsider our understanding of Satan. Perhaps he's not the malevolent force we've been led to believe. Perhaps instead, he's a symbol of our quest for self-discovery, a reminder of our potential, a catalyst for our growth. Perhaps Satan is not the villain, but a catalyst for self-discovery. Let me share with you a tale of a man who found himself in the darkness. Once upon a time, in a world much like ours, lived a man named Edgar. Edgar was a man of routine, a man of consistency. He woke up every day, worked, and went to bed. He lived his life on a set track, never deviating from the path set before him. But deep down, Edgar knew something was missing. He felt a void, an emptiness, a darkness within him. One day, Edgar decided to confront this darkness. He decided to delve into it, to explore it. He left the comfort of his routine and jumped into the unknown. It was a daunting journey, filled with uncertainty and fear. He would often find himself lost in the shadows, unable to see the path ahead. But he continued, for he knew that this was a journey he had to undertake. The darkness was not as Edgar had expected. It was not a void, not an emptiness. It was a realm of possibilities, a world of untapped potential. It was in this darkness that Edgar discovered parts of himself he never knew existed. He discovered passions, dreams, and desires that had been suppressed by his routine, by his fear of the unknown. In the darkness, Edgar found his true self. He found a man who was not bound by routine, a man who was not afraid of the unknown. He found a man who was passionate, who was driven, who was alive. This man was not a stranger. He was Edgar, the real Edgar, the Edgar who had been hidden in the shadows. The darkness was not a place of fear for Edgar, but a place of discovery. It was a place where he could explore, where he could grow, where he could be free. The darkness was a place of transformation, a place of rebirth. Through the darkness, Edgar was able to shed his old self and become the man he was meant to be. This journey into the darkness was not easy for Edgar. There were times of struggle, times of doubt. But each challenge he faced, each obstacle he overcame, brought him closer to his true self. It brought him closer to happiness, to fulfillment. It brought him closer to the light within the darkness. Edgar's story is not unique. Each of us has a darkness within us, a realm of untapped potential. Each of us has a true self waiting to be discovered. Each of us has a journey to undertake, a journey into the darkness. It is in this darkness that we can find our light, our true self. In the darkness, he found his light, his true self. Happiness is a complex paradox, a conundrum that has puzzled philosophers, psychologists, and ordinary people alike for centuries. We seek it with a fervor, Yet the more we chase it, the more elusive it seems to become. Happiness, you see, is not found in the bright, shiny objects of the world, but often in the most unexpected corners, hidden away in the shadows. It is not in the loud, boisterous laughter, but in the quiet, contented smile. It is not in the grandeur of a palace, but in the simplicity of a quiet moment. Now, you might ask, how does this all connect back to finding oneself in the darkness? Well, think about it. It's in the darkness that we can truly see ourselves, free from the distractions of the outside world. It's in the darkness that we confront our fears, our insecurities, our hopes, and our dreams. In the darkness, we find the light within us. It's a paradox, yes, but isn't that the beauty of it all? That even in the depths of despair, we can find joy? That even in the throes of sorrow, we can find peace? That even in the middle of the storm, we can find calm? And this is where the paradox of happiness comes into play. Happiness is not a destination, but a journey. It's not something to be achieved, but something to be experienced. It's not a state of being, but a state of mind. So next time you find yourself lost in the darkness, don't despair. Instead, remember that it's in the darkness that you'll find your true self. It's in the darkness that you'll find your happiness. And remember, it's not about avoiding the darkness, but about embracing it. Because it's in the darkness that we find our light, our strength, our courage. It's in the darkness that we find our happiness. The journey to happiness is often a path less taken, a path through the darkness. But it is a journey worth taking, a journey that leads us to our true selves, to our true happiness. Embracing the darkness is not about succumbing to evil. It's about acknowledging that we are not just the sum of our bright, sunny facets. We are a composite of light and shadow, good and bad, joy and sorrow. Just as the moon has a dark side, so do we. It's the side we don't show the world, the side we often fear to even admit exists. It's the side that holds our deepest fears, our greatest regrets, our most painful sorrows. But it's also the side that harbors our most profound strengths. Embracing the darkness is about accepting these hidden aspects of ourselves. It's about understanding that our flaws and failures are as much a part of us as our virtues and victories. This acceptance is a crucial step towards self-discovery. For how can we truly know ourselves if we deny a part of who we are? Moreover, embracing the darkness is an essential part of finding true happiness. For happiness is not just about the absence of pain or the presence of pleasure. It's about the acceptance of all that we are. It's about embracing the light and the dark, the good and the bad, the joy and the sorrow. So let's not shy away from the darkness within us. Let's not fear it or deny it or run away from it. Instead, let's embrace it, let's learn from it, let's grow from it. Because when we do, we begin to see that embracing the darkness is embracing all of you. In conclusion, Satan wanting you to be happy is not an endorsement of evil. Instead, it's an invitation to self-discovery, acceptance, and personal growth. It's about truly understanding that the darkness within us is not something to fear, but rather something to explore and embrace. It's the darkness that reveals our light, our true selves. We've talked about the misunderstood Satan, a symbol of our hidden, unexplored aspects. We've delved into the story of self-discovery, where we confront our inner devils to find our angels. We've discussed the paradox of happiness, where we realize that true joy often resides in the depths of our fears and insecurities. We've also touched upon the concept of embracing the darkness, where we understand that it's in our darkest moments that we often find our greatest strengths and potentials. So, are you ready to delve into your darkness to find your light?